Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, everyone. If you are here, hello. I am Tashina Braxton. I'm a leadership and team coach. Right now, I am streaming on all the platforms. So, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok for the first time. And so I'm so happy to see you all. I work with teams across corporate, government, biotech, pharma, education, nonprofit sectors. I am a leadership and team coach, and I do all those things. Okay. And so I'm not doing the usual where are you watching from or what do you do for work in this live at the beginning, because I know all of you all are here for one specific reason. I know most of you that I have talked to or engaged with at some one point or another. Even for those that may not be here or know me at all, I know that most people are tired of something. They're tired of something, and I'm here to fix it. Okay. So if you are here, I want you to put one in the chat if this sounds familiar to you. You work harder than most people around you. Your reviews are consistently strong all the time. Your manager loves you, but you're still watching other people get opportunities, the visibility, and the promotions that you deserve. If this is you, type a one in the chat. Okay. Now, this is why we are here. Okay. And so I want to establish something we're going to do throughout this live. When I ask you a question, I want you to engage. Okay. So this isn't passive content. We're actually going to build something together. And we're going to be here with each other together because I know we could all use the community right now. Okay. And so when I say your career should be what? I want you to type navigated in the chat. Even for those who may come on later on, that you may come on and see the replay. If I say your career should be what, I want you to type navigated, and that lets me know that you were here. Okay. Okay. So your career should be what? Type it in the chat, navigated. All right. So I want to get the temperature of this room because I need to know who I'm talking to. So drop two in the chat if you've ever heard the lie. Just keep doing great work. Your time is coming. Also, I want you to drop three in the chat if you're the person who everyone comes to when things are falling apart. So you're the person that's like the glue, the problem solver, the reliable one, the person who is holding the ship down. You're holding everything together. If this is you, I want you to type a 3. Okay. Now, if you are someone who is done being patient and you're ready to move strategically instead of this accidental thing, I want you to drop 4 in the chat. And I want to give you a promise. Okay. For the next 30 minutes, I'm going to show you the exact difference between working hard and being a good person who knows how to navigate their career. And by the end of this, you're going to understand why your effort isn't creating the movement that you deserve and exactly what to do about it. So I'm really literally going to teach you how to do this and how to get this thing going on in your career. Okay. So let me paint this picture for you. And this is probably going to make your blood boil a little bit, your blood pressure boil. And for those who are joining on TikTok, if you see me looking over here, it is because I am streaming on both LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Okay. TikTok is my first time doing it. So hello to all of those coming on. All right. So I want to paint this picture. It's probably gonna make you, it's gonna bring up a little bit of like, oh, like that's me. And tell me if this sounds familiar. Okay. So you're the first online in the morning, and you're the last one to log off at night. You deliver the best work. It's flawless, not just good, but flawless. And your manager is telling you, I don't know what I'll do without you. You're just an incredible like employee. You also have very good reviews where you're hitting every metric, you're exceeding expectations. And yet, when the promotion time come, you maybe hear things like maybe next cycle, we're not quite ready to move on that yet. Not right now, maybe later. And then when special projects get assigned, the ones that lead to visibility or the ones that lead to advancement, your name is not coming up at all. And when leadership wants someone in the room for any of these strategic conversations, they typically think of someone else. Is that you? Is that something that you're like, yeah, that's me? Well, what I want you to know is you are doing all of this work, but you're not getting any of the movement. You know that. And if you're anything like any of the women that I've worked with, any of the introverted women that I work with every day, your brain may go to like blaming yourself. You may start saying to yourself, maybe I'm not speaking up enough in meetings. I've had people come to me and say, oh, I need to speak up more in meetings, right? And so maybe you're thinking that. Or maybe you're like, I need to be more aggressive or more assertive. Like, I need to just get in there, right? I know that I've heard that a lot in my career. And then sometimes you may be thinking, like, I'm just not leadership material. Maybe I need to get better at the politics around here. I want you to stop right there. Okay. I want you to type stop in the chat if you have ever, even one time, blamed yourself for not moving up faster when you know that you're doing some excellent work. Press stop, put stop in the chat if this is you. Okay. I want you to know that you don't have a performance problem. You have a problem with navigating your career. It's a navigation problem. Okay. So, like I said to the people who joined, your career should be what? I want you to type navigated in the chat. Your career should be what? Type navigated. Okay. Your career should be navigated. So most of us that I know grew up with this equation drilled in our heads by our parents, by our teachers, and by early managers that we may have come into contact with. The equation is hard work plus time plus a good attitude equals success. So hard work plus time plus a good attitude, this equals success. Now, that equation sounds good. It sounds like, yeah, that's exactly what we're supposed to do. It's been drilled in your head. You've learned to be that way. But this equation is missing a critical component because the people who are actually moving, and I mean consistently moving in their career, not just getting lucky one time, they understand this new equation, which is strategic work plus key relationships plus the perfect timing equals movement. Strategic work plus key relationships plus perfect timing equals movement. Now, let me break this down because this is a framework that will change everything for you. This will change everything. Okay. So, when we talk about strategic work, we're talking about what gets you seen by decision makers. I'm not just talking about work and getting things done. It's the difference between being indispensable and being invisible. Okay? That is strategic work. When I talk about key relationships, I'm talking about the people who are going to speak your name in rooms you're not in. And it's not just the people who like you or who think you're nice. These are people who are strategically in your corner, who are strategic allies. And then perfect timing, these are the folks that this is how you actually position yourself before decisions get made. It's not hoping that someone noticed you after all the opportunities are gone. You're actually being very strategic by positioning yourself, okay? Quick exercise time, okay? So I want everyone watching and anybody who comes later to think about the last big opportunity you got. So this could have been a promotion, a stretch assignment, a new role, even getting hired where you are now, okay? And in the chat, tell me, did it happen because A, someone noticed your excellent work that pulled you up, or B, because someone you knew personally thought of you for the opportunity. And I want you to be honest with yourself. Is it because someone just saw you and was like, oh, yeah, let's pull her up? Or is it because someone personally thought of you for the opportunity? I remember going into a internal coach role, and I remember I didn't get the opportunity because someone was like sitting around and they were saying to me like, "Oh yeah, you're doing excellent work." No, no, no. I had somebody literally come in my cubicle and was like, "Wow, like we had a relationship. Let me tell you about this opportunity." Okay? So be honest, because I want to tell you that that move that I had really like literally changed my life. Okay? All right. Again, opportunities come through relationships and positioning, not just performance. So you need both, okay? Because your career should be what? It should be navigated. That is what we're talking about today. Okay, so let me tell you how I learned this lesson in the most expensive way, if might I add. Okay, let me fix my light in here because I tried to get some sunlight, but the sun is sunning today. Okay. So let me tell you how I learned this in the most expensive way. And by expensive, I mean that it cost me years of my career and my life and probably hundreds of thousands in lost income. Okay. So I used to always be the queen of if I just work hard enough, somebody is going to notice. I mean, I'm the oldest of six, and I just like knew that I had to be an example. I had to do things. I had to just do it, right? And so when I started working and working in the corporate environment, I was okay with staying up late at night doing work, bringing my laptop home or staying late at work, coming in earlier because I'm like, I got to get there early. So before everyone comes in, because I got to make sure that my boss has this on her desk, da, 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 da. Volunteer for everything, every fire drill. If something happened, I was like, oh yeah, I could do it. Every crisis, I can do it. Every urgent project that landed on someone else's desk. We're talking 4:59 p.m. on a Friday. And let me tell you, I don't work that late anymore. But I was that person that was like, I'm gonna do it. I can do all things, right? Because I thought that some type of way loyalty and effort were my ticket to like move to the next level. And I thought that being indispensable would make me, well, indispensable for a promotion. Like that will be the thing. And I watched it literally happen over and over again where people with half my experience, half my track record, half my institutional knowledge got promoted around me, getting invited to leadership meetings that I should have been in. They were getting a leg up on that, and they were getting stretch assignments that I was more qualified for. So I kept asking myself, and I was literally asking the wrong question at the time because I'm like, what am I missing? What am I doing wrong? Am I not smart enough? Am I not working hard enough? Am I not enough? Right? Literally, that all encompasses, am I not enough? And then I had this conversation with a mentor. She was a Black woman. She was an executive who kind of moved up in the ranks. And she told me something in this, not exactly in this way, but to the effect of, you're playing checkers while everybody else is playing chess. And she was letting me know, like, you think this is about merit, but that's not how systems work. We all know that that's not how systems work, especially for women of color. Systems run on power and perception and patterns and not just performance. And just like a side note on this, like I've been watching the show Traitors. I've never watched it ever, and I just learned of it last season. And I'm like, yes, like this system, like it's the perfect visual of a system of power, perception, and patterns in order to find the traitor. So if you haven't watched that, go watch it because I think it's just a good show, better than like a Big Brother or The Challenge or anything like that. Although some of those people are on that show, but it taught me like this conversation from this Black woman had taught me. She was a mentor, and she taught me that I need to be thinking about this differently. And so I realized that I couldn't just operate on hope and effort and in a system that runs on strategy and relationships. So the day that I stopped actually asking, how can I work harder? And started asking, how does the system actually work? Meaning, who makes the decisions? How do I get in front of people who are like, how do I get in front of those people who are making those decisions before they make the decision? That's when things started to shift for me. And I learned to read some of the like power structures and understand what was happening. I learned to build strategic alliances across like different departments and levels. So we tend to go for just the people we know, our peer, but no, or just our team. We need to move across and up and down to create these alliances. And I learned to position myself before the opportunities opened up, not after. Okay. And that resulted in my visibility actually exploding. I had my income double in 18 months in the pandemic in particular. And then most importantly, this is what I want to do for you, because I stopped being exhausted by my own career and actually feeling like, okay, I got this. I can do this. And I wasn't having the Sunday night kind of like scaries or the Sunday like depression before I go to work on Monday. And so that's what I want for you, okay? So here's the fundamental shift that we're going to make today, and this is what everything else builds on, okay? We're going to move you from being a good worker to a navigator. Okay, so a good worker to a navigator. So let me show you the specific differences, because this isn't just a mindset. This is actual behavior that I want you to understand. So what's a good worker? What does a good worker mean? Okay, so a good worker focuses on tasks and deliverables and getting things done perfectly and on time. I'm sure all of you, most of you are going to raise your hand and you're going to say, yeah, that's me. A good worker also assumes that the system is fair. It assumes the system is merit-based and that good work automatically gets rewarded, right? In our childhood, when we did something good, we got a treat. So we assume that's the way things go as we move up into our careers. Good workers also wait for managers to advocate for them. And so they think, oh, my manager is going to speak up for me. I could just wait for my manager to do that. And they're good with that, right? And so they wait and they're like, I know my manager knows everything about me and they're just going to pump me up in the rooms. That's what they think. Or they believe work speaks for itself. So if I have good quality, it's going to be obvious to everybody. I remember doing this. Like, I was like, I actually been taught when I was younger, my mom had taught me when I first started working, just go to work, do your job, and go. Like, ain't nobody got time for your business stuff, no, your personal stuff. Just do what you have to do and go home, right? Because the idea was my good work would speak for itself, which I'm not gonna knock it, because that was the way she moved up in her career. And that's what happened, right? That was the old way of working. And then lastly, a good worker just hopes your effort will be rewarded. And so you have the mindset is, if I just keep doing this, somebody is going to notice me. Somebody's going to notice the great work that I'm doing. Is that anybody on this? Anybody relate to this? Are you a good worker? I mean, I think everybody should raise their hand and say, I'm a good worker, right? But where I want us to go is to being a navigator. A person who is, another way to say this is like systems thinking, being strategic. I want you to be a navigator. So a navigator will focus on relationships and strategic positioning. So you're asking yourself, who needs to know what I do? Not just my boss, not just my peer. Who needs to know what I do? A navigator also understands how decisions really get made. So they're looking at who's in the room and when do they meet. Like, you really got to play chess on this one, right? It's something that I like tilt my hat on, and I'm just like, yes, like I've learned to do this, maybe somewhat a lot, but I'm always looking, keeping my head on the swivel. I'm thinking, who's in the room? A navigator also builds alliances across multiple levels. So, like I said, not just up, but sideways and with stakeholders and with different people. Once you know who's in the room, it's better, it helps you to better pinpoint what alliances you need to make. Once you know who's making decisions, then you know kind of what alliances you need to make. A navigator also creates visibility for their values. So they make sure the right people see the right wins, and they design opportunities instead of waiting for them. So they see gaps and positions and they fill them. So you have to know like what's happening with the business. So it's not just how are you doing with your work and making sure your work is good, but how are you also positioning yourself where you know what's happening and you can do that as well. Okay. All right. So I want you to type worker if you recognize yourself as operating like a good worker, and type navigator if you're ready to make the shift. All right. So here's what navigators understand that good workers completely miss. Okay. So merit is necessary. You definitely have to do good work. You being good at your job, that's the baseline, but it's not sufficient because just doing good work won't move you because everyone at your level is going to do good work. That's just the way it is. So you need to actually be doing more than just like depending on, I'm doing good work. They also understand that relationships are infrastructure. Okay. I'm not trying to make this seem like a transactional thing, but and by using the word infrastructure, but it is an infrastructure. So your network isn't just about like smoozing up or trying to like, kiss the ring or be fake. It's about actually having people who know your value and can speak to it when opportunities rise. You want people that are so they understand you, they know what's going on, they know who you are, and they're just talking you up, talking you up, talking you up. Okay. Those are the kind of relationships you want. Navigators also understand that timing beats perfection. So it's better to position yourself early for an 80% fit than wait until you're 100% qualified. Because by then, someone already else has filled the role. I know a lot of women of color, we wait, we're like, we got to check every single box 100%. No, 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 no. You don't have to do that. 80% is good enough, and we're going to translate that other 20. We're going to make sure that it sounds, it feels like you're qualified for that or you fit that particular skill. So it's about the timing, it's not about being perfect. And lastly, navigators understand that visibility is a skill. So we think because I'm an introvert, because that's my personality, I'm never going to be like this. No, no, no. Visibility is a skill. Y'all watching me on this live right now, right? I believe I'm an introvert through and through. And I've had to develop the skill of being visible. Okay. And so when you're visible, you're going to make sure that the right people know about your wins. They're going to seek your insights and your leadership. It's not about bragging, it's about managing your career because your career should be what? Navigated. Okay. So let me tell you a couple of stories so you know exactly what I mean. Okay. So I was working with this person. She's a data scientist at a major tech company, and she was working like 60 hours a week, literally. And she had a lot of complex like analysis. There things that were like literally for $1 million, like $1 million business decisions. And she constantly had performance reviews that said that she exceeded expectations. Her manager told her like, you are absolutely essential to this team. And so when the senior role came up, in the position that she was in, the senior like a level up, this was a role she had already been doing without the title. And she just knew, she was like, this is gonna be my job. I already know they're gonna put me in this job, right? Because she had technical skills, she had institutional knowledge, and she had a good track record for results. Y'all, guess what happened? They brought somebody from the outside in, somebody external, somebody with less technical experience, somebody with less like expertise in understanding the organization, someone who they didn't like really even know. And my client was super devastated. And she came to me and she was like, man, I must just not be smart enough. Or maybe my skills aren't, I need to get more skills and more certifications, more things, right? Or she just wasn't leadership material. But here's what actually happened. While she was like perfecting her skills and making sure she understood all the things and, like really pinpoint and make sure her work was flawless, this external hire had been having coffee chats with the VP. Y'all, having coffee chats. And they were sharing insights, about what was happening in the market and positioning themselves as a strategic business partner, not just a technical resource. Same skills, different way that they navigated this situation. Have you ever noticed that some people just seem to have insider information? Like they just know about all the opportunities before they're posted on the company website, and they get invited to these like strategic conversations and brainstorming sessions, and they move through the organization confident, like they have nothing to worry about. And you're still trying to figure out the unwritten rules. You don't even know what they are. You probably thought that you were naturally good at office politics, or that you were born, or you thought they were good at politics, or you thought they were good networkers, or they had some special advantage you didn't have. The truth is much simpler than that. They learned to read the map, they learned to navigate the system, and you can learn to read it too. So here's where, here's what we all know, and we rarely say it in a professional setting, which is that the system wasn't designed for us to navigate it intuitively. Okay. There is a good old boys network. That's not just a metaphor or something from the 1950s. It's a real current information and opportunity sharing system. It's real. And while we're being good workers, we're following the rules. We were taught that meritocracy and fairness, that others are building strategic relationships, and they're doing all these other things while we're just like, oh, we're going to be fair, it's going to be fair, they're going to move me up, they're going to give me this, they're going to give me that. No, 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 because you don't have any strategic relationships. Other people are building those things, and they're understanding how the power moves in the system, right? Especially for y'all who's like, I don't want to deal with politics at work. Y'all, politics is just influence. Politics is just how understanding how power navigates. You need to get into it. Okay. The part that this good old boys club doesn't want you to know, and this is why I do this work, is that you can learn how to build your navigation system and you can learn how to move through it. You don't have to change who you are fundamentally. You just have to understand how the game is played, right? So don't hate the player, hate the game, or get in the game and learn how to navigate through it. This is what I want for you all, okay? So while there's this also like this villain person, okay? There's this person who, while we're staying late and we're perfecting and making sure the delivers are happening, they're having strategic conversations over lunch. Do you know those people? While we're waiting for our annual review to showcase the 9 months of wins, like we're like, okay, our review, we have to put all the things, we have to do all the things. They're making sure that decision makers know what they did in real time, in real life. They're not just waiting for that paper. And while we're being loyal and patient, they're positioning themselves for the next opportunity before it's even approved by HR. Because they're gonna make a way, find a way or make a way. That's my daughter. She go to Clark Atlanta, and that's their slogan, which I've kind of like co-opted. But find a way or make a way. That's what they're doing. They are not necessarily smarter or more talented. They just have better maps. Y'all, your career should be what? It should be navigated. Type it in chat, navigated. Okay. This navigation mindset matters more than it has ever mattered before. And here's why. First of all, the workplace It's changing faster than any of the old playbooks can keep up with. So when we introduced remote work, and when remote work came onto the scene more globally, more, like we could see it more during the pandemic, it eliminated all the casual hallway conversations where opportunities were shared. And then we have AI that's changing which skills matters. And there's constant restructuring. That means that the people who succeed aren't the ones following the old rules. They're the ones who can adapt to their navigation in real time. They can adapt to what's happening real time. The second thing why this matters so much is because of the economic uncertainty and the budget constraints that are making internal competition fierce. Like, it's making internal competition like, ooh, this is tough. This is hard. Like, it's dog eat dog. Again, go watch Traders. Go watch it. That's become my show. Go watch it. But it has become like internal competition. So when companies are doing more with less, layoffs are always a possibility. When companies are doing more with less, layoffs are always a possibility. And promotion budgets will get tight. But the people who survive and thrive this aren't necessarily the hardest workers. They are the ones who are strategically positioned and have strong internal advocates who are speaking up for them. That's typically what's happening. And third, with flatter organizations where this middle layer is kind of like dissolving, there are fewer traditional promotion opportunities. So you can't afford to wait your turn in a line that might not even exist anymore. There's no like easy path or, simple path or a path that you can actually see. You actually will have to learn how to create your own opportunities and your own path up. The bottom line is that the people who succeed in this environment, they are not working harder than you. Trust me. They're just working smarter than you because they understand how to navigate the system. So let me ask you something directly, and I want you to really think about this. How many more years are y'all willing to work twice as hard for half the recognition? Type done in the chat if you're ready to stop hoping and start navigating. Hit done in the chat. Okay. So here's what we covered in the last 30 minutes. We talked about the fundamental shift from good worker to a navigator, from having this hope-based career, like I hope, I hope this is going to happen, to a more strategy-based career, and from waiting for fairness to understanding systems. But knowing this and implementing this are two completely different things. And that's where the rest of this week comes in. Okay. So this week, I'm breaking down very specific actionable systems that navigators use every day. So tomorrow, Tuesday, I'm going to talk about how to position yourself before decisions happen. We're going to talk about how to read organizational signals that tell you where the opportunities are coming from. We're going to talk about how to get in front of decision makers before roles are posted or projects are assigned. And we're going to talk about the exact relationship building strategies that work for introverts specifically. On Wednesday, we're going to talk about how to turn unpaid leadership into real career capital. In that live, we're going to talk about how to name and frame the leadership work that you're already doing. We're going to talk about how to position invisible contributions as strategic business value. And we're going to talk about how to get credit and compensation for being the glue instead of being taken advantage of. Okay. And then we're going to come back on Friday, how to stay irreplaceable when AI and the org charts keep changing. And this one, we're going to talk about how to future-proof your role and your value proposition, how to read the signals of organizational change before you're caught off guard, and how to position yourself as indispensable, not just a competent person, not just a person who can get work done, okay? And then next week, Thursday, March 19th at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I am hosting Own Your Career in Uncertain Times, which is a live workshop for introverted high achievers. Now, in this webinar, you're going to watch me. You're not going to just watch me talk for an hour and take notes. That's not what we're doing. This is going to be a hands-on interactive workshop where you're going to build your personal navigation system with my guidance. And so I hope to see you there. So at the workshop, it'll be 90 minutes. We're going to talk about four specific tools. So we're going to talk about your workplace power map, where we're going to identify exactly who influences decisions about your career, how those people make decisions, and your specific plan for building relationships with them that feel authentic to your personality. We're going to talk about your strategic positioning plan, which is we're going to figure out how to get visible to the right people for the right opportunities without feeling like you're bragging or being fake. We're going to talk about your navigation timeline. So you'll have specific actions to take in the next 30, 60, and 90 days, customized to your current situation and your goals, and then your opportunity pipeline. So we're going to teach you how to create options for yourself instead of waiting for them to appear, including how to spot opportunities others miss. Okay. This workshop is specifically designed for introverted, high achievers, or women of color. You are the person who excels at the actual work, but you struggle with politics. You're tired of being the best kept secret at your company. You want to move strategically during these uncertain times without compromising your authenticity. And you're absolutely done hoping someone will finally notice what you do and how great you are. Okay, that's for you. What makes this different from every other career workshop you've seen is we're not just going to talk theory or give you generic networking advice that doesn't work for introverts. You will be building your specific navigation system based on your workplace, your goals, your personality, your timeline. This is how we're going to do this. Okay. So it's Own Your Career in Uncertain Times. It's next Thursday, March 19th at 1 p.m. The registration link is here in the, depending on where you're watching. This barcode, you could just scan the barcode, the QR code to register for it. It is a free workshop. And it also, you'll get a replay of this. If you are on my email list, you'll get the replay. It would also be here on these platforms for you to come back and watch. Okay. So I know some of you are thinking this sounds great, but I've tried every other career, program. Nothing has really changed. So here's the difference that I want to share with you. Most advice will treat your symptom, but we're going to treat the system. Okay. So we're not just going to give you generic scripts and tell you to go network better. That's not how I roll. I'm going to teach you to understand how power actually works in your specific environment. You might be saying, I don't have time for this. I can't come working, da da da. I want to ask you, how many times are you done spending time being frustrated? How much energy are you wasting wondering why your career isn't moving, or what is that? Like, I know you don't want to be political, you don't want to be fake, neither do I. And this isn't about becoming somebody you're not. This is about understanding the system so that you can navigate it yourself just more strategically. Okay. So your career should be what? For the last time, your career should be navigated. Okay. So you have two choices right now. Choice one, you could close the screen. You could go back to working hard and hoping someone finally notices you. You could cross your fingers, hope that everything is going to be fair. And eventually you're going to prevail and you'll get the promotion, the money, the opportunities, and check in with me next year to see if anything's changed. Or you could show up the rest of the week in these lives, watch the content, and then register for next Thursday's workshop and finally learn to navigate your career like a strategic system thinker who's super smart and knows how to do this work. Okay. Your future self is watching this decision. Okay. The person you'll be in 5 years is hoping you choose strategy over hope. Okay. If this live helped you see your career differently, do me a favor. Share this with another introverted woman of color who deserves to stop working so freaking hard and start navigating so freaking smart. Okay. Tag them, send them a link, tell them what resonated with you. Drop navigated in the chat one more time if you're ready for this shift. Just drop it one more time for me. Let me know you're here. And I'll see you tomorrow for live number 2, which is how to position yourself before decisions happen. Wednesday, live number 3 on turning unpaid leadership into career capital. And then Friday for our final live on staying irreplaceable in changing times. And next Thursday, own your career in uncertain times, where we're going to turn these concepts into your personalized action plan. Okay. Go grab your workshop spot right now. Go register, get it in there. The link is here in the QR code if you're on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Instagram. TikTok is going to be link in my bio to go get that. Your career is waiting on you, and you could be a great navigator. All right. See y'all tomorrow. Talk soon. Bye.